Hey, one of the agents in our Rising Star program won a free coaching call with me. We literally just got off a Zoom where we did 30 minutes together, and I'm going to actually give you the advice that I gave him also for free. This specifically is and I won't use names, but I'm going to go over some details, okay? This was a new agent that started July of 2021. Also, I've got some big ideas, some big stuff that I've probably never shared before that you've never heard, some real math, some real examples, some real text message templates, etc. Okay, that's phenomenal. Okay, he's almost a year, earned about 20 grand over the last year. Okay, just terrible. Sells like health and life and like some different like supplemental type stuff, right? DVH, accident, critical illness, etc. Okay. Also would love to get this rolling so he can get his wife to be able to not have to work. I'm wondering who else is in the same boat. Let me know in the comments below if that's you. So he does pretty much like health insurance, right? Currently, here's what's happening. Currently, he is following up with leads. He's getting 90 leads per week for $4 each, which sounds okay. They're shared, right? So a lot of other people are getting the same leads. So he's spending $360 a week, okay, in leads. He is speaking, out of those 90, he will speak to 10. Out of the 10, he will set 6 appointments. So he calls on the phone, reads a script, and then books a Zoom call. Okay, and then he gets them on Zoom. Out of that, he will sell normally 1 per week. I mean, he'll really probably end up sitting with technically, I think about sitting with 4 and then sell 1. Okay, so this is the real example, real math. Well, if you look at this, spending $360 per week off the 1, he earns about $400. Okay, so the math doesn't work. So I said, well, let's play a little game. Okay, so I started asking questions, and I'm going to save the text for later. Okay, if I forget, Dylan can let me know, but the text is big for this. So I said, let's play a little game. Let's look at your current scenario, and let's see, what would you like to earn? He said, I would love to earn $2,000 per week. He said, that would be a phenomenal start. I said, okay, let's see if your current system, if it could work for $2,000 a week, right? $100,000 a year, 104, whatever. I said, okay, what would have to happen? I said, really, you would need to, you're selling 1, you would need to sell 5, right? You need to get 5 sales a week. To do that, you're 1 in 4, right? You would need to get, technically in this example, let's just skip this and go 1 to 6. You would literally need to set 30 appointments. And if you look at that, again, 1 out of 6 here, okay? Sells to appointment set. So we'll just skip the next step and go to, you have to set 30. That means also 60% of set to speaking to setting appointments. So that means you need to speak to 50. Okay, you guys follow me so far. Speak to 50 people every week. That's not terrible. It's 10 a day, whatever. The problem is though, 1 in 9 you're actually speaking to, right? Which is 11%, not good. That means he needs to buy, in his current scenario, 450 leads a week at $4, which means he's got to spend $1,800 per week. Spend $1,800 to make $2,000. Does that work? Heck no, okay? Here's what you need to know. I'm not in a, I don't want, for me to earn $2,000, I don't really want to have to spend $1,000 to earn $2,000. That's not a long-term business scenario. Also, if you think about it, if you're at if a business is at like half margin, you're doing okay. It's creating some cash and some capital, but you never get a ton of extra cash unless you deal in bigger numbers to really invest and blow this up. I would prefer to technically spend $600 to $700 a week to make $2,000, right? Now, can you make it better? Is it better if you can spend less and make the same? Sure, right? But I'm just saying that if you're in this example, I'd rather spend $600, $700 max, really. Maybe $800 if I had to go up to 8, that's 40% max, okay, to make $2,000. Now, will I invest? and take some risk and go all in and like change it up. Totally. However, in this example, this is not working. But also too, people don't realize this. When you go from 90 leads to 450 leads, here's what happens. You're going to actually speak to less people because there's more volume. Volume, numbers get worse typically, right? So you're going to speak to less. Now, you could do more deals. However, you're going to speak to less. So you're probably not going to speak to 50 if you have 450 leads. You're going to work them less hard, right? You're going to send less texts, less emails, less calls, etc. because there's more you got to get through. It's just a lot, okay? You're going to speak to less. You're going to end up, when you speak to less, you're going to end up booking at a lower rate because you're going to be in a hurry and you're going to try to get through them. When you book the 30, you're going to probably end up with, you may have a similar amount here if you can get a similar show rate and a similar close rate. However, based off of this, 25% close rate, terrible. 2/3 show rate, that's okay. This piece is okay. 60% book rate, that's fine. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. This is terrible. Also too though, 90 to speak to 10, this is terrible. Okay, so the contact rate is not good. And the close rate is not good. Okay, which is bad, but watch what happens. If you take, and I know this is kind of getting a little, I got one smaller whiteboard, but I'm filling it up already. But if you think about this, let's just say hypothetically the contact rate and the close rate both doubled. Hypothetically, okay? Let's just say that the contact rate and the close rate both doubled. Now, I'm not saying it will, that's unrealistic, however, we'll just use it, okay? That means that he's literally, let's just say that these numbers double, okay? Well, let's just say he speaks to 20 instead of 10, okay? If you speak to 20, you keep the same, out of 90, you keep the same 60%, okay? Let's just call it 12, okay? You book 12, you sit with 8, that's again 2/3, and then your close rate, normally you would be at 1 in 4, which is only 2 cells, terrible. Let's say it doubles and you eventually get good at this thing, then you're at 4 cells a week. Just because you focused on your contact rate and your close rate, I'm going to immediately give you away. Think about this too, okay? Because then you spent $4 a piece, you spent $360 here, but you turn it into $1,600. That's great math. Also too, as I grab my phone, it's great math because if you do 360 into 1,600, you're at 22.5%. is what you're actually spending expense-wise, which we talked about over here. Anything less than 40% is great. Okay, now is this a phenomenal video or not? Okay, let me know in the comments below what you're thinking as I really extrapolate this thing because it's so important. It kind of infuriated me that this was the example the guy was in because he's a good individual. He cares. He's awesome. Great personality. Cares about his family a lot. But he's in a position where he's either got to increase his contact rate and his close rate, or he's got to shoot it in the head and move on and figure out another solution or a system, right? So what I learned is the contact rate can get better for sure, right? Well, this was off 90 leads. The contact rate can get better. Here's one big way it can get better. Number one, he can get better at texting. So when he was texting, he was sending a long text that literally filled up the entire, 444, make a wish, okay? It literally filled up the entire screen. The text was the whole screen long. It was information about him, carriers, all this other stuff. And you guys are making the same mistakes too. Don't act like you're not. But there was also no question. So what happened is he was getting no response to text. I love text for getting response to leads. It's phenomenal. He was getting no responses. It was too long and there was no question. You have to finish with a question. I would not converse through text unless it's short and unless you actually finish with a question. So here's a decent example, okay? John, this is Cody getting back to you about your request for more health insurance information. And then what got you thinking about this? That's a lot better. You want to get them to respond. The purpose of sending a text is to get a response. Once you get a response, then you can start to move into, okay, I'm getting responses. I'm in communication. They've moved. They're moving. Now I can try to book a call. I guarantee you his contact rate can double. if he will just do this a heck of a lot better coupled with dials. I promise you, this goes up, you speak to 20, you book 12 to 13, about 60%, really it's like 12 and a half, I think, right? Then 8 to 9 show up. And your presentation, then when your contact rate goes up, boom, instead of an X, now I've got a check mark. Then the only thing you've got to get better at is actually selling. And I guarantee you, I get on those Zooms with that dude's product, his close rate would definitely more than double. Okay, so I want you to use this, and I want you to analyze your current system. These are all the notes I took in literally 29 minutes on the phone with this guy. And I guarantee you, you can get better at what you're doing too. I don't want you to give up, but I want you to analyze your current system, your current math, your current prospecting, your current leads. Extrapolate out to where what you're currently at to where you really want to be. And if the numbers don't add up, you need to improve it drastically, or you need to shoot it and find something else. Doing the same thing for an entire year to earn $20,000 and just continuing on doing the same thing that sucks and is terrible and is not working is dumb. Okay, now this dude is not dumb. He's awesome. I love the guy. Incredible human being. But I feel bad because there's so many agents just like you in this exact same situation. And you don't have to be. Talk through email marketing, or some of the prospecting methods that y'all use. I don't know of too many, and rising stars, I don't know if you have either, right? Where they're utilizing cold email marketing to generate interest and leads for health insurance conversations.